Hey guys, this is Locke. Today's video is going to be about crafting and equipments. Let's head on over to the equipment screen. To craft an equipment, you have to press the crafting button on the lower left side, which says crafting, and then you can choose the recipe that you want. To make a +5 equipment, you would need at least 63 recipes. Like for example, to make a +5 Solothamasa, you need 63 of the recipes, including many of the other materials. To see how many you would need, you can move the slider over from +0 all the way to +5. This shows that I need 63 of the recipes and 1800 of this mat and 3000 of this mat, and so on and so on. I'm not going to create that right now because I don't want to, but I was just showing you. In other cases where you already have some of the items, like for example, I already have a +2 necklace, so I don't need 63 recipes. I will need some amount less. So for example, if I move the slider all the way to the right side, it shows me 63, but if I press the checkbox at the top, I can see that I actually only need 56. I don't need all 63 of them. But before I do this, I'm going to show you some other crafting so that you get an idea of some other concepts. I'm going to craft a +0 necklace, and you can see that I have no control over the type of the necklace that I just crafted. You can take a look. Hopefully I can find it easily here. So the one I crafted happened to be a barrier. I'm going to craft one more, and you will see the second one I crafted is a barrier as well. So in case the second one, actually let me try making another one just to, and hope that it is not a barrier, it's something else. Craft, yes. Hopefully find one of these that's not a, wow, all of them are barriers. Okay, guess you're trying another one. I want to show you an example of a necklace that is not a barrier, so you can see how the combining will go. Okay, so we have one vital and one barrier. Okay, so now when I want to craft a +1, I have to make sure that I check mark this box. If I don't, it's actually going to use up 3 recipes, as you can see right here, to make a +1. I actually just want to combine the +0, 2 of the +0s that I already made. So check mark this, and I will see that the recipe count goes down from 3 to 1. And I will use up 2 of the necklaces that I've already made. So now when I do this, I have to choose which of the 4 necklaces that I've already made that I want to use. I'm going to choose this barrier and this vital, and you will see that the pop-up shows me that I will need to choose which one of these 2 types that I want my +1 necklace to be. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the barrier, and that is how that will look like. So now I want to, so you can see that I've created my +1 here, and these are the 2 +2s that I have, and the 2 +0s I have, and this is the +2. Take a look at the box stat on the crafting menu. I'm going to look at, say, the ribbon. Right now it shows me a stop resistance of 5 and a slow resistance of 5, and as I increase the plus, only the evasion increases. Everything else stays the same. So if I increase this to +5, it still shows me a stop resistance of 5, slow resistance of 5, but the evasion has gone up to 10. What this means is that regardless of what the plus is, that stop and slow resistance will always be the maximum that I can get. That stop and slow actually goes up, not as you increase the plus, but as you increase the level of the item. So if I had increased, like if I make a +0 ribbon, and I level that ribbon all the way up to level 50, that stop and slow resist goes up from 5 to, I believe, 30. So it doesn't matter what +5 you want. It doesn't matter what plus it is. If you want that effect that doesn't go up with this, even a +0 will work just as fine. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to go ahead and craft my +5 necklace, and I'm going to choose barrier, and I guess I'll go through the screens and show you. So craft. And so this is a check to show you that one of the items that I've already equipped is going to be used. So this way I don't use up equipments that I've already uh, that are important to me. Like, for example, maybe I plan to make a second of these items, and I'm planning to keep one of these at +2 and make another one that's +5. So this will be a good check to show you that, um, like, if I can press cancel if I didn't want to do this, but I do. So I will go ahead and press yes and make that +5. And I clear all those missions too, so that's great. And when I made the +5, I had all these items that showed up, so I can choose the version that I want to get. I want to screenshot that to show it as an achievement. Okay, so I've created my necklace. So let's go take a look. Here it is. So the next thing that I want to do once I've created this necklace is to awaken it, and that requires different materials. I can slide this bar all the way to the right side to create a +5 necklace. Like this is well, I already created a +5 necklace, but I mean to awaken it to 5-star, I can move the slider all the way from the left to the right. To do that, these are all the materials I'll need. So let's go ahead and awaken it. And that is how you make a maxed necklace. So you can see the critical damage went up to 10. Once I level this all the way up to level 50, that critical damage will actually go up to 15. So regardless of if this is a +5 or a +0 necklace, I will still get the critical damage 15 from it. Now these are all my, this is how you would basically craft and awaken a necklace. Now I'm going to show you how to enhance the necklace. So you press the enhance button, and then you choose different atomites to use. You can slide them all the way to the right if you want, and level up in one go. So I'm just going to show you one level at a time. So I'm leveling it from level 1 to 2. When I press the enhance, it gives me an option of using seals along with the leveling up process. What these seals do is that they add a chance for one of these stats to go up. So typically when I level it from 1 to 2, all 4 of these stats have a chance to go up by some preset value. For example, accuracy has a chance to go up by just 1, while HP has a chance to go up by some number. It might be like 6 or 15 or something, but I don't know what that number is right now, but it is some number. And using seals gives you a higher chance of these stats to go up. For example, like I'm just making a hypothetical scenario here. Every time I level up 1, suppose HP has a 30% chance to go up by the preset amount. So I really want to max out that HP stats, let's assume. So instead of a 30% chance, if I use one of these HP seals, now I have a 45% chance of increasing the HP stat. So HP, attack, and magic, when I use seals, they have an additional 15% chance of increasing the stat. All the other stats like defense, spirit, accuracy, evade, and crit only have an additional 3% chance to increase when you use the seals. So that it doesn't really affect it by too much, but it is something. So let me level it up by a few levels. Like for example, I will level it up by 10 levels. And the most important thing I want to do here is actually spirit. So I'm going to be maxing spirit, defense, and HP. I don't have an option to increase dex by using seals, so those are the 3 I'm going to be going for. Yeah, the accuracy is only 2, so hopefully I get that as well, but let's see. Yes. And so with 10 levels, I got 62 HP, I got 8 dexterity, I got 1 accuracy, and I got 4 spirit. So let's assume I've leveled up everything, and I've maxed out my HP, I've maxed out my dexterity, I maxed out my accuracy, and I maxed out my defense, but my spirit is only at 6 out of 16. I have another way of increasing the stats by using hammers. So I'll go to the smithing screen, and then I will choose the hammers that I want. So for example, I could put 10 more hammers into spirit and raise that stat up from, in my hypothetical case, of 6 to 16, but in this case I will raise it from 4 to 14. You can use 10 hammers at max, and each hammer has a different value. For example, an attack hammer will increase the attack by 3. So since you can only use 10 hammers in total, you can increase the attack hammer by 30. If I used all 10 attack hammers, I cannot additionally use hammers for other stats like HP. So in total, I can use 10 hammers, and I'll have to figure out where these hammers are going to go. Um, Typically, especially for like equipment like weapons, you want to hammer at the end because you want to make sure that you get all the stats that you can, and whatever stats you still have to max, you would max it up. Um, for example, if you have like six, you only have six stats left of an attack for a weapon. You can use two hammers to do that at the end, and then use the other eight hammers on other stats that are not maxed out. Whereas if you use your 30 attack hammers in the beginning, maybe when you're leveling it up by level 40, you already reached your maximum attack. So the rest of the attack will go into some other stat. Like basically, you could have saved some hammers if you save it at the end. If you save it to the end, that is true for most weapons. That is not true for some accessories. For example, a Hermes sandal. Um, Let me see if I can find a Hermes sandal that I did not max out the HP. I guess I have done that for all of them. Okay. What is a good example I can show you? Well, okay, let me just go with this necklace and try to use this example. So if I smith my HP, I can get up to 235. Damn it! I'm trying to find a good example to show you, but I don't have anything. I'll just hopefully you guys can follow along, but might be a bit. I hope this makes sense when I'm talking about it. So as you can see, my HP at the maximum HP that I can get from a Hermes sandal is 124 for this Vital Hermes sandals. So if I went to the smith and I have used up, say, how many hammers would that be? Like eight hammers to max out HP. Then in like one, two, like I have three evade, six agility, one crit, one defense, one spirit. If I add all those stats up, I will need 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I will need 13 levels, not hammers, 13 levels to max out the Hermes sandals completely. So I could use eight hammers in the very beginning, like at level 1, max out HP, and then I would just need 13 more hammers to max out all the stats of these Hermes sandals. No, sorry, not 13 more hammers. I would need 13 more levels to max out all the stats of these Hermes sandals. So I would only need to awaken the sandals once, and I would have all the stats really maxed out. So for equipment with like very little HP or like very little stats, that might be one way of going about it. Just max out one of the stats early on, and you will see that you can max out the rest of the stats pretty easily. Now you can stop there if you want, but there is a way to maximize this process even more, and that is by using an example like the Alexandrite ring. So again, you can use like you can max out HP at the beginning, and then we can level your equipment up to level 50, and by the time you reach level 50, all the other stats would have been maxed out. Instead, another way to do this is to count to see how many levels you will need to max out the item except for HP. So for example, I will need 20 accuracy, I will need 2 evade, I'll need 3 crit, 2 spirit, 2 defense. If I add up all those stats, that's 22, 25, 27, 29, 29. So what that means is after 21 levels, like my item is level 21, if I gained 0 stats in all of the other items, if I max out HP at that point, I can still max out this ring, right? So what I would do then is I would wait. Where's the damn ring? I lost out my ring. Here it is. Okay, I would press enhance and I would level up my ring to level 21. The reason I'm doing that is because by doing that, I will already have gained some stats in HP and accuracy and other stats. I'm not using any seals. I'm just leveling it up, and maybe my HP went from like 1 to say 50. So that already saves me 3 hammers. Now I don't need to use 3 hammers to max HP. I've gained it just from leveling it up to 21, and I already want to level this up to level 50 anyway because I want to max out the all element attack resistance. So that way you save some hammers. think that's really it for the crafting itself. I will mention briefly how you can get some items. Let me start with a MR item, like maybe this one. So if you need any of these items, you can click on them and it'll tell you where you can pick them up from. Some of these items are farmable from stages, but other items, like for example this and this, these are on recurring events that you can get. MR items are generally usually farmable, like they are pretty recurring events that you can get them from, and recipes are usually also in the same recurring events that you can get the items from. The UR items, however, usually they're associated with a specific event. Like this item came with a raid, and in the raid, it gives you all the other materials that you can get this item from. So you would have to do the raid a few times to be able to get these items. And for example, the event that's going on right now, the Titus's necklace, like that raid gives you the recipes and the item drops. It's very hard to get the other item drops except from other intensive raids or events like trials again. So your items are a lot more difficult to craft, whereas other things can be done, like MR items can be done a lot easier because of recurring events that keep recurring every like a few months or something. Um, I think that's it for the crafting section. Now I will mention some tips on how to manage your crafting as a newer player. So if you take a look at my equipment, let's if I can see my guns for a second. Yes. So here, I want to look at my +2 gun. Dang, I don't know where it is. Sometimes it's so hard to find weapons that you're looking for because they are... Okay, this one. I was using this gun for a very long time. It was just a +2 gun. I didn't need a +5 gun until like the event recurred many, many times, and then I eventually farmed up a +5 gun, this one that I use. But a +2 gun was like more than enough for me to use for many events, like months into the game. I think like maybe 5, 6 months into the game, I was still using a +2 weapon with only 170 attack out of 207. Now I have like a maxed out one, but this was the one that I was using, and it's fine. I don't think you need a +5 weapon to and have all the stats maxed out to be able to do PvE content. You can do it all with probably like a +2 weapon or +2 armor. If you're aiming for top ranks in PvP, maybe the +5 would help because it'll give you an extra 12 to your missile attack modifier. But for like maybe like a new player, I mean, unless you're spending a lot of money to compete with the other people in the top PvP ranks, it's kind of hard to get up there anyway. So maybe a +2 is enough for you. And the reason that you want to do a +2 instead of a like a +0 or +1, well, you can do +0, you can do +1, you can do +2. I would not recommend +3 or +4 for this reason. So once I was using my +2 and I was ready to make my +5, I can dismantle the weapon. Maybe I won't be able to. Oh, here it is. Okay, so if I dismantle it, it actually gives me all the materials, including the books that I spent on this weapon. The only thing that I lose is the adamantite. So the adamantite ore, which you're using to enhance, that's the only thing I lose. Just make sure when you're using a +2 weapon that you don't use any seals or any hammers if you think that the +2 weapon is only temporary and you're going to eventually farm a +5. If that is the case, don't use the seals and hammers on them. But if you feel like you're going to be using it for a while, then it's okay to use the seals and hammers because it is going to last you for a long time anyway. But anyway, going back to the point about the +2 dismantling, if you if you use a +2 for as a temporary weapon and maybe in like a month time or whenever the event recurs in like 2-3 months, you're gonna make a +5. The +2 weapon, you can dismantle it, get all the materials back except for one recipe and adamantite ore and any seals or hammers if you happen to use it. So that's why I either go for a +0, a +2, or a +5. I don't make a +3 or +4. You will see that I have a +4 gun somewhere. This gun I haven't used at all. I am waiting to make a second +5, so that's why I've been farming. Like this is in the process of making a second +5 gun for me. uh, Yeah. But yeah, that's it. And also, like some of these, especially some of the UR items, like even a plus zero is great because, for example, look at this plus zero helm. It's giving me 18 defense. If you look at Titus's necklace that I just crafted, the stats itself, like the cap on these stats, don't get better if you are making a plus five. Like a plus two necklace still had 16 spirit and still had 20 dexterity as a plus five does. So don't be afraid just to make a plus zero. It's still really good. I know some people that make like multiple copies of plus zero gear, like especially like the platinum robe that came up. This 18 defense. We didn't have a clothing armor piece with 18 defense for a long time. So you don't have to make a plus five. You can just make a plus zero and have 18 defense that you can put on like a gunner or Yuna. So, like these items, especially the UR items, have quite a bit of stats. So don't be scared just to make a plus zero item and just use that because I think that's still pretty good. Um, I think that those are all the tips and tricks I had for crafting and equipment. If you have any other questions on this, please leave questions in the comments. I will do my best to answer it. And I hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching. Take care now.